In today's video, I'll be answering the question how to live on a budget as an international student in Russia. Let's dive into that. I have 6 tips on how you can live on a budget in Russia, and at number 1 is choosing affordable accommodation. If your university offers a dormitory, I would advise you to go into the dormitory and stay there for your stay here until you find your footing and move into an apartment later on. So the dormitories are cheaper, generally cheaper than, having your own apartment. So I would always advise people to first come, settle in the hostel, then get acquainted with their atmosphere, the culture, find a part-time job, and then move into an apartment. So if you move into a dormitory or a hostel, you're already provided with a fridge, there's a stove, there's a microwave, there's a kettle, there is a bed, there's a bed. They provide you with beddings, so you don't have to buy bed sheets, worry about all these things like bed sheets, duvets and the curtains are there and everything. And if you're just coming in, that will be so helpful for you. So you find everything is already set, these minor things. Okay, you don't have to think of your beddings, you don't have to think of curtains, you don't have to think of a stove, an oven, a fridge. These things are provided for you, so that when you finally settle down in Russia, you can now start looking outside. Okay, I want to move into an apartment, into a better place. Let me, change and start researching. You have proper time to research on housing, the amount of rent it will cost you, and so forth and so forth and so forth and so on, so that you don't rush into, picking or choosing an apartment. So I would advise it's better you land in a hostel or a dormitory first. Tip 2 is cook at home and shop smart. There is a lot of money you can save from cooking at home. Just buy the groceries, cook at home, and maybe, create a special time you can eat out. A specific day you can eat out, just to make yourself feel good. But I would advise eat at home, cook at home. The other strategy I use for buying my groceries is buying in bulk. So for example, I would buy a 5 kg rice, which would last me at least 3 months, and just buying in bulk in general. And the food stays for a long time. Buying a 5-liter container of oil, and I don't have to think of buying oil for the next 3-4 months. The second tip I'll give is to monitor your expenses and budget properly. So use budgeting apps. I think in every app in Russia, in Sberbank, they show you your expenses, your overview expenses for a month, what you spent on, and so on and so forth. That's what I use to track my spending habits and to see where I could cut costs most of the times. And of recent times, I want to go into another method, which I'll share with you in another video entirely. Other tip is for those going to stay in apartments and not in the hostels. You have to use your utilities wisely, your lighting, your water bills. Yeah, you have to use that very wisely. That means you check on these expenses every now and then, and where you can cut costs, cut costs. The other tip is to consider part-time work to to just help you have an extra source of income. So if you could teach English, in my other video, I shared with you the 7 skills I think you can go into and work towards in Russia that could give you a substantial and a decent amount of money. So check that out. So in this segment of the video, I'll be sharing with you some discount cards that you can get as a student and that could work for you in Russia. The ISIC card. It's the International Student Identity Card, and it grants students over 30,000 discounts. Now, that's one thing you shouldn't be sleeping on. And I haven't yet opened the card with them, but I will do that, and I'll take you guys through that journey with me in another video. The other card is the Russian Student ID card. So this is like your social card. It will give you discounts everywhere. You can get a discount in museums, parks, public transports, bookstores, cultural events. So some discounts your student card or social card could give you is, reading this, it's 50% off suburban trains and Russian railway tickets, which offer you 25% discount via the RZD student bonus program. The other thing is a 50% off museum entries like the Tretyakovska Gallery, Pushkin Museum, and free entry to places like the Moscow Zoo. The other discount is in cinemas like Carol, Luxor, and bookstores, which give you like a 5 to 7% discount. The other is discounts on fitness clubs and cafes of up to 25%. So that's like some good discounts. The other thing you should be looking out for if you really want to live on a budget is sales and promotions. Look out for student holidays and academic year starters, back to school kind of shopping outlets. So these were just some examples, some tips of how you can live on a budget in Russia. And I hope it really helps you as you navigate your first few days here in Russia, in Moscow, or whatever city you're in. I wish you all the best. I'll see you in my next one.